Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about 50 days now that I've been on the carnivore diet. I know this is a gaming channel, but I also like to talk about things that, as I try in my life, things that work and things that help and things that, make life easier. I like to share those with the community, and I like to share those with, people that might be, searching for that kind of stuff. Maybe tell my story a little bit about things. But yeah, so today marks 50 days of being on the carnivore diet. I'm not out there cheating. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm absolutely just following, just eating animal products, stuff like that. Trying to stay as as consistent as I possibly can. Like I've changed, things up in what I'm eating every, like for the last, like 10 days or so since my last video. I have started incorporating eggs significantly into my diet. Still eating, trying to do more of the trying to do more of like the grass fed, or at least the more like the higher quality meats, like the prime and choice, staying with like don't not going under choice. Doing more steak. I've brought hamburger in there. I'm doing like some hamburger patties with some eggs. Just things that that are a little bit cheaper, that are a little bit easier to secure, and you know what I mean. Like just stuff that I can hurry up and make and eat and be happy with that. I'm, instead of taking the beef chunks now, I'm taking hard boiled eggs to work. I was because I was so here, the thing is I was taking like a pound of those beef chunks every day, and then and I was starting to get to a point where I was wasting like almost half of what I was taking. Just because like on this diet, like your appetite is going to shrink like tremendously. Like you are going to get to a point where you're not eating anywhere as much as you once was. Like you're gonna start not eating as much. So now I'm taking 4 hard-boiled eggs, and maybe like these right here. I got these chomps from Costco. Take a couple of those with me, so I can just, like in the morning when I first get to work, have one of those, and then throughout the day, I'll just eat my eggs or whatever, and that there really does give me enough energy to get through what I got to get through at work. And I'm just like, wow, this is this is interesting, because normally I would be like, man, I was spending like $13-14 a day on the truck that would come there. I have, kind of like started alternating with the bacon in the mornings. Like I didn't get bacon today, but I did get bacon yesterday, and Monday. But I'm kind of, going through like, I'm trying to find like the best pattern of food that works for me, because I just want the energy. Like I don't really, like, eating is not as important to me anymore as it used to be. Like I don't care as long as my and see, here's the thing, like your stomach don't hurt when you're hungry no more. And so like as long as my stomach doesn't hurt, like I'm usually fine. Like I can go throughout the day. But I've kind of kept myself on like this schedule, like, oh yeah, it's lunchtime at work, so I'm eating my hard boiled eggs. Or like when I first get there or something, I'll eat a chomps or something like that. Or I would go out and I'd get like something from the gut truck. I'd get that bacon or whatnot. Like at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I mean, I've like kind of just kept on like this consistent schedule. And then when I get home from work, sometimes I will eat right when I get home. 4 or 5 o'clock, or about around 4 o'clock. Sometimes I'll wait till like 6, 7, 8 o'clock. And that there's the one thing that I want to like rein in. I want to be eating as soon as I get home from work. Like I want my eating window to be very, very small. Like I want it to be, I don't necessarily want to do OMAD. I want to be able to eat like a few things throughout the day within a certain amount of time, like within 8 or 9 hour window or whatever. And then just kind of be like, boom, that's good. Like not eating anymore at night, because that's where you like start to get like the bad habits of like snacking all the time and doing that. And once you get to that point where you're just snacking all the time, then it's a lot harder to rein in. But if you just kind of put yourself on like a schedule and follow that, it will be interesting. So One of the major changes that have changed during this 50 days is I pretty much cook all my own food now. Like, my wife does not cook for me anymore. I cook all of my own food now. I do all of my own meat. She did do the hard-boiled eggs, but for the most part, like, I'm cooking my own food, and I've found that to be very, very important. I'm actually cooking for the family too now. You know, I mean, when I cook steaks or something, I'll make some for the kids. I'll make some for my wife. Hamburgers, you know, I'll cook them for the kids as well. So I mean, it's like there's definitely improvements coming in just in other areas of my life too. Like, I'm starting to take some of that, like, you know, that cooking that my wife would do all the time. I'm starting to, you know, put some of that on my shoulders and give her more free time. So it's actually kind of beneficial in some ways. And I do feel like if you're going to get on this diet, if you're going to do carnivore, like, you are going to have to do this for yourself. Nobody's going to do this for you. I know that, like, I know that at first it was a little bit like, oh my gosh, man, like I literally had to push myself to do this, to like stay consistent with it. And now that I'm doing it, it's like so routine and it's like so fast, and you know, I can just get in there, do what I got to do, hurry up and make what I need to make, and then boom, I'm done. I'm not sitting there. I'm not wasting any more time. Let's put it this way. Because of this diet, I no longer have to sit in the bathroom for like 30 freaking minutes. So now I get to spend all that time cooking my dinner. And so I'm not losing any time. I'm not losing any time by making my own food at all. That's incredible. Like, that's crazy. I mean, absolutely insanely crazy just how good this feels. And how much my life is so much more consistent now. My energy levels, the way I feel, my brain, the way I think, you know, everything just feels far more optimized than I have ever felt before. And it's crazy. It's almost crazy to the point where you would think, honestly, you know, as just a regular person, like, you would think like what the freak, man? You get mad. Like, you start to get mad. You're like, gosh dang, I can't believe I poisoned myself for so long. And I just felt like I'd feel sick every day. I'd wake up with headaches. I had joint pain. I'm 43 years old, and I finally feel like I feel like a man again. I feel like I'm not tired. I don't feel worn out. I don't feel beat down. And I'm still doing the exact same job I've been doing for the last 12 years. You know what I mean? Like, all that time that I wasted feeling like garbage, feeling unrested, feeling unwell, feeling just completely beat down after work, and completely drained on the weekends. I don't feel that anymore, man. It's been 50 freaking days, and I feel better than I felt in a very long time. I don't even think I felt this good in my 20s, to be completely honest with you, because back then my body would still kind of feel sluggish, you know? Like, it would just feel, sluggish. It's definitely improved my ADD tremendously. Like, I was so ADD that I could not focus on certain things. Now, when I sit down at my table right here to create content, I feel a lot more clear about what I'm doing, and I can make the videos that I want to make and then put them out, and I feel like they're getting to be much better quality. I feel like the content that I put out for the games is starting to become more quality. Like, I feel more like into it. I feel when I sit down and I make my videos, I feel more focused. And that's a good thing. I like that. I like the fact that now I can actually sit here and enjoy my gaming far more frequently than I would before. Because when I would get home from work 50 days ago, and it would be the weekend, I would literally sleep until like 2, 1, 2, 3 o'clock sometimes on Saturday. And then I'd get up and I'd make a couple videos and I'd feel all groggy. And then I'd go back there and I'd lay down again and take another nap. And it was starting to affect every single aspect of my life. Like, I would just be feeling miserable. And like, when I would go to work, I would feel like, oh my gosh, man, like I'm just struggling today, you know? Like, I'd be struggling, and it would just like the pain and the hurt that I would be going through Man, this is insane. And I mean, if you're new here, I'm basically a mechanic. Like I'm a maintenance guy. I do a lot of fixing of like heavy equipment, overhead cranes, changing light bulbs. You know, all kinds of stuff that just basically sometimes I will be in physical positions to where it is hard to like move around in, or be in like tight spaces or underneath vehicles or climbing on top of vehicles and stuff like that, because we have like some overhead, like we have some cranes, like mobile cranes and stuff like that. And when I got to get into the engine bay and fix things, I I'm having such an easier time being able to do my work, so it is actually making me faster at what I already would do. Like I'm getting faster at it. I'm able to stay focused, and I'm able to find it's not as uncomfortable to be in those positions now. And that is massive. That is absolutely massive, because it would be like sometimes it would be so hard getting to like some of this stuff that it would just be like physical pain the whole time I was doing the job. And now it's like I'm getting in there and I'm doing things with ease, and I'm having a good time, and I'm feeling good about it, and I'm feeling focused because I can focus more on my job because I'm not focused on the pain anymore, and I feel more productive. And that there, I mean, not only is that a benefit for me, but that's a benefit for the company that I work for, because I am providing better quality work for the same pay, and I'm doing it better. You know, I'm doing it faster, and I like that, and I feel like that's, you know, where I should be, you know, like what I should be doing, you know, because I felt like I was starting to get slower, and I was starting to get older, and I just kept blaming it, or I just kept telling myself, man, you're just getting older, you're in your 40s, you're slowing down a little bit, you don't have that drive like the younger guys do, you know, let them have their drive, you've already been there, you've already done all that. And, you know, like every year would go by, and I'd feel like, oh my gosh, dude, am I really going to be able to do this for the rest of my life, till I'm in my 60s? And I would always question that. But like feeling the way I do right now, oh yeah, absolutely, I could keep doing this. Like, not a problem, man. It's actually feeling a lot better, a lot more. It's I don't want to say easier, because it's still like the exact same work that I was doing, but it doesn't hurt me physically as much as it used to, and that is such an amazing thing, So, I mean, if you've watched some of these videos before, like I had this terrible shoulder pain. Like if I would hold my arm up like this right here for a long time, or like holding a drill, or doing stuff above my head. Maybe like not even a minute of having my hand up like there, my arm would start burning. It would burn real bad, like all the way down here, and then my elbow would hurt, my shoulder would just start hurting, and it would just feel so bad that I would like sit there, and I would have to like, you know, kind of move my arm down, putting my arm behind my back would make that muscle, like it would make my whole arm numb, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't move it, like it would lock my joints up and stuff here in my elbows. And so that's completely gone. Like I can hold my arm behind my back. I can do the freaking floss. Like I can do the floss with like no issue. Like it's incredible now. It's incredible. Like I did hurt my hand today. Like I kind of smacked it on something, so I do have some pain, like some bruising pain in the top of my hand. So I'm actually curious to see how long that's going to last. But for the most part, like I feel significantly more optimized. Like my joints don't hurt. That's a big thing too. You know, having no joint pain and being able to like work out and do things again. Like this is a very, very, I know you probably hear a lot of people say this, and I mean, I've heard, you know, comments, you know, back when I first was getting in this, when I was first making like a couple videos on it and stuff, you know, people telling me that it was like some sort of placebo effect. Well, I'm 50 days into this now, and all of those issues and like autoimmune issues that I had, you know, like some IBS, you know, not feeling good, feeling groggy in the morning, feeling like, with all of that being gone, like completely gone. And I have went through a few days where I felt like I was like dumping oxalates. Oxalates are, you know, like crystals and stuff that will make your joints hurt from like vegetables and stuff like that. If you're eating a bunch of those, then you're basically just, you know, eating these oxalates that you know, are technically toxic to your body, but at the same time, it's like a slow painful death if you're like suffering from oxalate poisoning. But once your body dumps some of that stuff so they can flush it so that it can get out, like you're gonna feel a little like, oh man, like you're gonna feel like a little, I guess they call it like keto flu. Like you're gonna feel like some keto flu, and you're still gonna have like your energy or whatever. You'll still have your energy, but you will just kind of feel like, oh man, like I call them my Eeyore days. My Eeyore days where I'm just like, thanks for noticing me. But they're not even a fifth, not even a little tiny fraction of the way I felt before. So I'll take them. Like I'll take those. They're not that bad. They do kind of, like when you first have your first one, like your first off day, you'll be like, oh my gosh, it isn't working, and you'll be like thinking like, oh my gosh, what am I doing to my body? What am I doing to my body? But then after that day passes and you're right back to feeling incredible, you'll that's how I put together in my head, like, oh man, maybe I'm just oxalate dumping. I heard something about that on a video. Maybe I should look that up. Maybe I should look up the oxalate and kind of just, get a rundown of what those symptoms feel like and stuff. And some of the other days that I kind of just felt like I had my Eeyore days or whatever, those were the days that I would eat more protein than fat. Like I would have a lighter fat. The more fat that I'm eating, the more that's why I'm doing the eggs more often. That's why I'm doing, like the bacon. That's why I'm doing, like the really fatty cuts of beef. Like I'll look and make sure there's plenty of fat on, like my ribeyes or my chuck steaks or whatever I buy. And I'll make sure there's a significant amount of fat. And then, I'll have some eggs with the steak sometimes. If I'm eating like the ribeyes I got right now, I'm just eating the ribeyes. I'm not doing the eggs or the bacon with those. I'm just doing the ribeyes. But like if I do like hamburger patties or I do like a chuck steak or something like that, I'll do like some bacon with it, because I really do like the bacon and I do feel like that helps a lot. So I like to keep my options open, and I like to cook a lot of the food that I eat in that too. So I will use like the butters and stuff, so I'm not doing any dairy. I'm sticking to completely meat and like eggs and stuff like that, like those three things, like, and butter. So I have the butter, the bacon, the eggs, the beef, like hamburger or whatever, and I feel pretty dang good with that most of the time. That to me has been, it's been sufficient. And like I was saying at the earlier part of this video, like your body is going to transform, and you're going to need less food overall. That's why I just kind of try to eat like a bird or whatever. Like, I mean, if I was hungry, I would eat. You know what I mean? Like if I was starving or I felt like I really needed food, I would eat. Like I would eat more food. Like I would eat more meat or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that like, it's not something that I'm forcing myself to not eat or anything like that. It's just I don't need it. I don't need it during the day, like when I'm at work and stuff. I'm not needing all those carbs and stuff that I used to need to get the energy to do what I needed to do. I don't need that anymore. Like I have enough fat on my body to where I stay consistently energized. So, and that's the thing. Like if you don't need the fuel, like I've got enough reserves on me to where I don't necessarily have to eat or intake as much food as I used to, but I do eat a big enough dinner to where I know that I'll have the energy for the next day. Like I do eat enough food. I mean, I'm probably at maybe a pound and a half, maybe 2 pounds of food a day now. And that, and then mostly water. Like I drink a lot of water now. I drink probably, these bottles that I got are like 33 liters or 33 ounces of water. And I'm drinking like 2, 3, sometimes 4 of those a day. And I feel good. My body feels good. My overall physiology just feels like I feel good most of the time. Like I have a good attitude more. I'm smiling more. I am, I'm like things that used to annoy me are not driving me nuts anymore. That's like a big thing that like, because of my ADD, like I've always kind of just been like this person that's in their head and stuff. Like I've never really been the kind of person to listen to music and work. I just always have found it super distracting. But now for like this last, I would say about 30 days is I've been noticing for about 30 days now that that those things aren't bugging me. Like they're not distracting me. I am able to focus significantly better than I ever have before while there's like music in the background or while something's going on. Like I'm able to focus, and that is very, very important and very good that like that has started to improve pretty rapidly, actually. I mean, most of these changes that I've felt have happened very rapidly, but it has taken a little bit of time to actually be like, oh yeah, and just watching like other people's videos, just like watching my video or something, or other people's videos, and you hear them talking about their experiences, that's going to make you think, oh yeah, man, I didn't even think about that, but yeah. And then you can start watching that and you could be like, oh my gosh, man, yeah, that's true. That does work. I haven't had any back pain for a long time either. Like my back pain's gone, like my lower back pain, all of that stuff is gone. I mean, every once in a while, like no, see, like the upper back pain. Yeah, like it just my body just feels better all the time. Like every day I feel like I'm feeling better. Unless I'm having an Eeyore day, then I've kind of just like, oh man, like, but I'm still not tired. I still got the energy. I can still do everything I need to do, but I'm just kind of like, maybe not as upbeat as I normally would be now. Like today, like I'm pretty upbeat today. Some days, like when I'm having my Eeyore days, I won't be as upbeat. I'll be a little bit more quiet. But for the most part, like when I'm feeling good and I'm feeling upbeat, like those days are phenomenal. I don't think I've ever felt this good in my life, and it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible how much this has changed my life. I don't even know how to express that to you, and I hope that if this is something that you're considering doing, like try it for 30 days. Seriously, try it for 30 days and like you'll probably have the same mindset I have about it. Well, actually, I don't know. Let's talk about one other thing that I've found to be a little bit of a challenge for me is going to the store. And going to the store is kind of a challenge. Now, if I just go into the store and I go straight to the meat and I get what I want and I leave, not a problem. But when I'm walking around with my wife and we're looking at things and she's looking at things, I'll see things that I used to get, and these are triggers. I mean, obviously, like it's a trigger. Like your body will be like, oh yeah, and you'll see something, and then you'll play it over in your head, and you'll remember, how it tastes or how it felt to eat, or mostly like textures and stuff like that. You're going to remember those more. You're very likely to not remember the taste of anything, but you'll remember the textures, you'll remember the sensations, you'll remember the moments when you had that food before, or how you ate it and how it felt and how you felt and stuff like that. So those right there, those are kind of hard, and they do creep up pretty often. I'll be looking around at something and I'll see something and I'll be like, oh man, I remember, I love those, and before, because like going to the store before I started this, it was like if I saw something, boom, I got it. I didn't even question it. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get this and we're gonna get that. So over time you would build up these habits, or you would find those things, those comfort foods that you would be like, oh my gosh, dude, I love my nachos and my cheese. And so you would bring that into like your comfort food, and that would be like your snack. That would be like your go-to, and then you would get that, and you'd get your can of chili, and you'd mix your cheese in your chili, and you'd eat all your chips, and you hear. I mean, those are the things that the longer you do this diet, I've noticed the more that I see that stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah. Like almost every time I go to the store now, I see stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, but then I remember, I'm like, no, dude, I don't eat that garbage no more. I can't eat that garbage no more. Like I cannot put that in my body. I cannot go back to feeling like I used to feel. And that there has been pretty strong for me. Like I haven't even come close to like cheating on this diet yet. Like I'm pretty strong, and my wife, like she's like, no, like, cause I don't say anything, so I mean, it's not It's not like her having to tell me, no, you're on that diet or anything like that. But I do see things and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, I want to have one of those. Or I question myself. I'm like, well, maybe if I eat one to see how it makes me feel now that I've been good for 50 days, maybe I should just try it. And then I tell myself, like, dude, why would you even do that? Why would you even try that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, you feel incredible. Why would you even tempt giving that up to go back and eat that stuff that clearly made you feel terrible? And that stops me like dead in my tracks. And I'm like, well, I guess I could have got that, but now I can buy another steak with the money that I would have wasted on that. So that's pretty much where it's at. Like, I'm feeling very, very good about this. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about this. I feel good. But my head feels significantly more clear. I feel more able, alert, and ready to do things than I have in a very long time. I'm more willing to, like, when my wife's like, yeah, I want to go do something, I'm more willing now to say, all right, let's go do it, than I was for like 10 years. Like, I was getting pretty bad. Like, I was feeling pretty sick. I was feeling pretty defeated, to be completely honest with you. And now I just feel better. I feel great. And I mean, like, I want to be able to share this with people, but I'm, like, you can only lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. But if you do decide to take this journey on, know that there are a lot of people out there that are going through the same thing that you are, and there's a lot of help out there. There's a lot of recipes. There's a lot of genuine people out there that want to see people succeed on this, because this isn't one of those things that you just get on and you're like, I tried carnivore and it didn't work. There's a lot of people making those videos out there too. This, to me, this is exactly how I feel about this. I feel like there's people out there that are trying to do this stuff as a fad, as like, yeah, I tried it, I didn't, blah, blah, blah. And those people are so deluded in their thinking. It's like how, I mean, most of them are like younger people too. That's the thing. Like, these younger people that still have that energy, still have all of that stamina and all of that stuff. They're like, oh yeah, I tried it for a couple weeks and I don't like it, and like, whatever. And those people are not doing, they're not doing a good service for anybody. Like I get it, man. If you're 25, like when I was 25, yeah, I felt great. I felt fine. I felt whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't care. I was feeling good. Whatever, I could get up, I could function. I'd have my hard days, whatever, but I could still do it, and so it didn't bother me as much as it does now. Like, when you are 43 years old, when you're in your 40s, and you've got grandkids, and you've got kids that literally depend on you to be able to hold yourself up, not being able to function is absolutely scary. It's the scariest thing that I've ever been through in my life. So that's why I'm committed to continuing this journey. Like, I guess you could say, like, there's a lot of fear mongering out there about, like, your heart and blah, blah, blah with eating red meat and stuff. And it's like, dude, if I'm going to die, at least I'm going to die feeling very, very good now. I'm going to die feeling very good instead of dying feeling like miserable trash, laying in a bed, having doctors pump me full of medicine. I'm like, dude, seriously, I feel like I am, I felt a lot closer to death 50 days ago than I do right now. Like, I feel good. Like, I feel actually active and I feel hopeful again for my future. Like, I feel like, yeah, babe, you want to buy a house? Let's buy a house. Like, I feel like I could do that now. I feel like I could take on that journey. So, yeah, this is great. I feel amazing. I hope that if this is something, I hope that, I mean, if this just helps one person be able to completely change their life and be able to, regain that motor function that they've lost, or that, being able to have their body back, being able to feel their, not have them achy joints, being able to get up in the morning without a dang headache, being able to just be and feel good about yourself. If this helps one person do that, then I have succeeded. And I feel good about that. But I will continue making these, every 10 days, I'll make another video every 10 days, and I will update you guys, because this is a gaming channel. Like, this isn't meant to be like some carnivore channel, and I'm not going to start another carnivore channel. I'm not going to do that. I've already got enough that I want to do. This here, you know, I can make like a half-hour video or whatever every 10 days, you know, maybe even go a little bit longer. Maybe I'll do a stream later if there's a lot of people coming to the channel that want to talk about this kind of stuff, you know. Maybe I'll do that, you know. I mean, I was invited to the Poco Moonshine, you know, like a couple weeks ago. Actually, it was like 2 days after my day 30. I went on there and I did that interview with him, and that was good. You know, it's nice to see like other people out there doing this and having good results and being happy about it. So I have kind of plateaued, you know, on my weight loss right now, though. I'm down to 305. I started at 335, so I've lost 30 pounds, but I've kind of plateaued this week. I'm kind of like at a plateau right now, but I have been significantly changing up my eating habits, though, for since the last video. So maybe that just hasn't kicked in or anything like that. Most of the weight that I lost pretty quickly, you know, within the you know, first 30 40 days or whatever, a lot of that was obviously water weight. Now my body is going to start attacking the fat, hopefully, and start bringing that down, start using that fuel reserve, and start, you know, giving me energy from that. It took me 10 years. Well, it took me 43 years to get to where I'm at right now. I do not expect overnight results. Like, I don't. As long as I feel the way I feel right now, I will continue doing this. Like, there's no other option for me. There really is none. And that's something that you'll have to accept, because once you lose all that water weight, you're going to get that whatever somebody said before, like that placebo effect, but you got to get past that. And you have to let your body start repairing itself, and it has to rebuild, and it has to get through, you know, all of that stuff, and it has to be able to convert the fat into energy, and that's going to take some time. Like you're especially like if you're eating, you know, 3-4 times a day like I'm doing right now. I mean, I bet if I went to OMAD, I would start losing the weight again, but I don't need this to be like a fast weight loss. I need this to be a consistent lifestyle change. That's something that I'm going to be able to continue to do long term without putting any thought into it. I need this to be on autopilot, and I need my body to be able to heal itself without having to worry about a whole bunch of nonsense. I feel good. I feel optimized, and I'm going to keep going. So in 60 days or in 10 days, I'll be back with my 2-month update, and we'll talk about how I'm feeling then. But right now, day 50, I feel incredible. I feel amazing. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.